A wicked king, an impossible quest, a ship of heroes, and a dragon that never slept guarding a fleece of pure gold. This is the story of Jason and the Argonauts. Jason was the son of a king, but while he was still a baby, his wicked uncle Peleus seized the throne of the kingdom for himself. For his safety, the baby was carried away in secret to be raised far off in the wild by Chiron, a wise centaur, half man and half horse. There Jason grew into a strong and noble young man, and when he came of age, he set out to reclaim the throne that was rightfully his own. On his journey, he carried a frail old woman across a rushing river. In the deep mud, he lost one of his sandals, and walked on with just a single sandal on his foot. Now the wicked king had been warned by a prophecy to beware a stranger wearing only one sandal. So when Jason strode in, the king was filled with secret fear. Hiding his fear, the king made a cunning offer. He would gladly give back the throne, he said, if only Jason would first bring him the golden fleece. The golden fleece was the magical golden wool of a winged ram. It hung in a far-off land, in a sacred grove, guarded by a dragon that never slept. The king was certain no one could survive such a quest, and that he would be rid of Jason forever. But Jason boldly and eagerly accepted the challenge. Jason ordered the building of a magnificent ship, the greatest ever seen, with a single great sail and 50 long oars. He named her the Argo. Then he sent a call across all of Greece, and the bravest heroes of the age answered it, gathering to join his crew. They were called the Argonauts. With a mighty cheer, the heroes ran out their oars, and the Argo slipped away from the shore, out onto the wide and dangerous open sea. On a lonely island, they found a blind old seer, tormented by winged monsters that snatched away his food. The heroes drove the monsters off and saved him. In gratitude, the seer warned them of the terrible danger ahead, the clashing rocks, two great cliffs that smashed together to crush any ship that sailed between them. Soon they came upon the clashing rocks, booming together and apart with a sound like thunder, the sea churning white in the narrow gap between them. Remembering the seer's counsel, Jason first set free a dove to fly between the rocks. The cliffs slammed shut, but the swift dove darted through, losing only a single tail feather. As the great rocks drew apart again, the heroes rowed with all their might, and the Argo shot through just as the cliffs crashed close behind them, grazing her stern. At last, after many trials, the Argo reached the far distant land where the golden fleece was kept, ruled by a powerful and suspicious king. Jason asked the king for the fleece. The king agreed, but only if Jason could first pass 3 impossible tests of strength and courage. First, he must yoke 2 monstrous bulls with hooves of bronze and breath of fire, and with them plow a great and stony field. But the king's own daughter, the princess Medea, who knew powerful magic, had fallen in love with Jason, and she came to him in secret to help. Medea gave Jason a magic ointment and told him that for a single day it would protect his skin from fire and from any wound. Shielded by the magic, Jason seized the fire-breathing bulls by their horns, forced the yoke upon them, and plowed the great field as the flames washed over him in vain. For the second task, the king made Jason sow the field with dragon's teeth, and from every tooth a fierce armed warrior at once sprang up out of the earth. A whole army now rose against him, but as Medea had foretold, Jason hurled a great stone into their midst. Unable to see who threw it, the warriors turned and fought one another until none were left. For the final task, Jason had to face the dragon itself, the enormous serpent that guarded the fleece and never, ever closed its eyes in sleep. But Medea came once more. With a magic potion and a soft droning chant, she did what no one had ever done before. She lulled the great dragon into a deep sleep. While the dragon slept at last, Jason crept silently past it, reached up into the branches of the tree, and lifted down the shining golden fleece. With the fleece in his arms and Medea at his side, Jason raced back to the waiting Argo, and the heroes rowed away into the dark before the king could stop them. The king's ships gave chase across the water, but the Argonauts outran them, and after many more adventures, they sailed the long road home to Greece. At last the Argo returned, and Jason strode ashore bearing the golden fleece held high, the prize that everyone had sworn could never be won. Jason had done the impossible. The voyage of the Argo and her crew of heroes became one of the most beloved adventures ever told in all of Greece. A ship of heroes, the clashing rocks, a sleepless dragon, and a fleece of gold. Such was the quest of Jason and the Argonauts. Follow for more tales from ancient Greece. Next time, a stolen daughter and the secret of why the seasons change.